Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of October. If you can believe that. I hope you will. I'm using the Crow Tarot for you today. I want to tell you there will be an extended at the end of this reading if it resonates with you. I will shut the window in a moment. I'm just waiting for this to burn down because it's horrific. That's the first link in the description box. The second link is to the 6-month overview that I did for each of the signs. It runs from July to December, and obviously we're some way through that now, so I've knocked the price down accordingly. If you haven't checked it out yet and you are interested, this is probably a good time to do it because we still do have a few months left of 3 months left. 3? October, November, December. Yeah, 3 months left. Okay. Whew. Touched myself for a second there. And I do think what came out in there might well prove to be important for some people, for hopefully all of you. What else? Oh, we're in Mercury retrograde. Mercury is currently retrograde in the sign of Libra. Usual rules apply. It's not a good time to start something. It is a good time to complete something, finish up something that you've already started. You can expect, travel mishaps, delays, communication to be somewhat awkward at points as people find it difficult to articulate what they mean, and we possibly may not hear what it is that they're actually saying. So conduct all of your communications with a certain amount of let's say stoicism and compassion at this time. What else? There was something else. Show this one. Contracts and things like that, if you have to sign them, it might be better to wait until the shadow period of the retrograde is complete. But if you have to, I understand that often we do, it's a good idea to get a second pair of eyes on it, maybe a third, double check, triple check that you're signing up for what you think you are. Now there is a bit more going on with this retrograde than previous ones this year. I actually did a video for my patrons this morning, that's up on Patreon now, about why this is slightly different. I'll leave you to watch that if you're a patron and you want to see it, but there is a Pluto activation going on at the moment and an Eris activation, both of which should interest you as Scorpios, and I think that we can see a lot of shadowy stuff starting to rise over this next wee while. So little present for you patrons there. Now we've got all of that out of the way, let's have a look and see what is going on for Scorpio, please. Ooh, whatever that was down there. We have the World card in your recent past. I like this, Scorpio. I like it very much. Tell me about current energy for Scorpio, please. Got the King of Swords. I like that as well. And one more. What's coming towards Scorpio for October, please? Whoa. What do we have here? We have... Hello, Scorpio. You're back. That's incredible. Death and the Three of Pentacles. I like this very much. Very much. We have the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, but it's followed immediately by the Ace of Wands, and I just do think that you have sloughed off so much, Scorpio. The last few months have been incredibly trying for you. Good few months now. But it looks to me like you are emerging like the butterfly out of the chrysalis from the other side of this quite definitively and changed as a result. Whatever this Five of Swords represents to you, and this could well be, certain thought patterns that revolved around self-sabotage and distancing yourself from people and not letting people get in too deeply to give them the opportunity to be able to hurt you, is being transplanted by this new, revived and reignited decision to live coming through, whatever that entails. Like, if that entails at some point pain, okay, but there's an understanding here that there will be joy that is equal to it on the other side. You know, we live in a duality consciousness and everything in balance. I feel like you're opening up, Scorpio, all together, and I love it. I'm here for this all day long. Let's get some clarifiers, because this looks really good to me, to be honest. I'm gonna give these a shuffle. Tell me about the world, please, for Scorpio. Thank you. We have the Tower and we have the Ten of Cups. That's an interesting combination in there. Tell me about the King of Swords, please. Page of Pentacles and the Fool. This is glorious. I love this. Tell me about Death and the Three of Pentacles. Ooh. Queen of Cups. I've just got goosebumps right from the fucking ankles right up my body. Ugh. The Queen of Cups and the Hanged Man. Do I want to pull one more? I think I want to do, because we've got 2 cards there. And the Page of Swords, yeah. There's something quite glorious to behold is unfolding here. So, in your recent past, we have the World card. Now, the World is the end of the major arcana, right? It's card numbered 21, although there are 22 cards in the major arcana. The Fool is numbered 0, right? This is the very last card. It represents culmination, completion, the end of a cycle. And Scorpio, I think you're, like I said, you're about to emerge from an difficult period. And it's not like the difficult period was the cycle. I understand that we have cycles within cycles, right? There's a sense of them converging here. So lots of things are closing out at the same time. But I actually feel like they're all really rather welcome. This cycle feels like a much longer one, and it's one that could have well gone on for decades with you. It's closing out something massive. Now, the World card has the 4 fixed signs depicted on it, of which you are one. So there's Scorpio, obviously, but there is also Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius on there. And what I do get a real sense of is the level of balance that's coming out here with you. You know, it's almost like you're taking your rightful place as a foundational level sign. You know what I mean? Like Scorpio, for a lot of last year, was kind of barreling from one thing to another. Like, maybe this is the thing that will fix me. Maybe it's this thing over here, right? And I was kind of watching you. I was watching all of the other signs kind of going through stuff and learning and you know, growing. And I'm like, what the fuck is Scorpio doing? Just bounding around, pinging off things. And it was almost like a desperate bounce from one thing to another, all of it to avoid looking within and seeing what was going on in there. Like, I don't think that any of you really realized that that's what you were doing, but it was like, it was almost like escapism. It's like, oh, maybe this is the answer over here. No, it's not. Maybe it's over here. And it never was. And I remember saying in a live stream last year, and it was probably like July, September, something like that, saying, I don't know what the fuck Scorpio is doing, but I've got a feeling that Scorpio will surprise us, right? They're the ones that will come screaming up from the back and overtake us all in terms of the way in which they can transform, right? They're going to do all of their fucking work in one go, and it's going to be insane what comes out the other side of it. Not only have you caught up with all of the other fixed signs, it does feel like you have in some way kind of done exactly that. You've really surprised the shit out of us, right? And now here you are taking up your rightful place where you were always supposed to be, because I do think that you have something now to teach everybody else, Scorpio. And I don't think that this is something that you would have owned last year. I don't think that this is something that you wanted last year. But now I see you being in a place of, through experience and the wisdom gained therefrom, now understanding that everything that you've been through, and it's been a lot, it's truly been a lot. I don't expect you to feel grateful for it, but I see an acceptance coming in now. And this is what's bringing everything back into balance. It's like, yes, it has happened, but the important part of that is that it's all in the past. What I don't feel from you is a need to define your future by what has gone on in the past. Now there's a comfortable aspect to the idea of being foundational, like being able to guide others. Because between you, Scorpio, between all of you, there is not one thing that you have not experienced, and possibly that is true for all the signs, right? But Scorpio seem to get, you know, an extra helping of trauma, and that's what you've been working through for the last few months. I said, a Scorpio friend of mine said, I'm too fucking intense for myself. I just had to sit down in the garden and just be like, ugh, you know. And I think a lot of Scorpios have been in that place, but this is your energy here. It's chaotic and it's wild and it's unpredictable and nobody knows what to do with it. I mean, least of all at points, Scorpio, it's kind of been like, well, shit, this is, you know, I should expect this. This always happens, you know. There's a transmutation that's occurred here and it's very, very different now. Now, we've got this collective emotional fulfillment. Like the work that you have done has made a difference to the collective, whether that is your friends and your family, the people that are immediately around you, whether it is your community in a wider sense, you know, where you live, or the Scorpio collective, or even humanity as a whole. And I genuinely believe what you have done here is important to humanity as a whole, but there is now a sense that you can guide people out of the chaos. Right? Now, Scorpio is spectacularly introverted as a sign, right? We know this. And it doesn't strike me as likely that, you know, at any point you're going to start, you know, prancing around like a Leo and being all like, I can do this. Like, I'm an introverted Leo, but those Leos do exist. But nevertheless, there's an opening up to a possibility here of helping others. Now, like, it could well be that this just exists on a metaphysical level. That is possible, but it feels like it's more than that. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that the people around you are starting to notice the changes that have been wrought by you inside, right? It cannot help but affect your external world too. People are sitting up and people are paying attention. People are noticing now. And, you know, maybe some of them are like, ooh, tell me your secret, you know, whatever. Like, probably not. And I don't imagine a Scorpio would respond very well to the idea of telling their secrets to people. But this balance, it seems to be accepting of other people being in your life, other people playing a part, other people doing their thing. And there's an acceptance of you. Like, this is now an energy that you are radiating out. I accept myself, you know. And it's like you'll never find a deeper peace than that contained in a person who has truly suffered and then done their work on it, right? It's a different next level kind of existence. And that seems to me where you are coming to now, Scorpio. Now, in your current energy, we've got the King of Swords. It's Aquarius energy, so it's very forward facing, and I like that for you. It's not about the contemplation of the past anymore. Like I said, I feel like you're coming out of that smaller cycle of having been, you know, contemplating all of that. But it is now about getting very, very clear about what you think about a lot of things. It's very, very clear in the way that you express yourself. And it's very, very good at making decisions now, being fair and just to everyone. I feel like there's an extra layer of compassion and forgiveness that has worked its way into you right now. And it has changed the way that you see the world. It's changed the way, in fact, that you invest your pentacle, whatever that is, for you. Guys see the pentacles as energetic currency, right? So yes, your money can be a pentacle, but your time, your care, your effort, your energy, your love, these all become pentacles in that way too. And the Page of Pentacles tells me that you've understood something really quite profound. You've discovered something really quite profound, and for most of you that may just be your own personal value at this point, right? I often said I had an ex who was a Scorpio. That was always doomed to fail, and it was the most beautiful and toxic and magnificent and awful relationship that I've ever had. And I've said before that he genuinely did not think that he had anything to offer the world apart from sex. Nothing at all. Now, the fact that he managed to think that, whilst also knowing that I thought he was just the most magnificent creature in the fucking world, and he knew that, makes for an interesting dichotomy. But nevertheless, it hurt me to the core that someone that was so magnificent to me could not see his own magnificence. Genuinely had no idea of it at all. And I think, Scorpio, you've always struggled to see your own magnificence. I think it comes with part of the package of being a Scorpio. But this tells me that you are rediverting your energy. You now see some value and you're willing to put the time into it. I mean, is that not what you've been doing for the last few months? It's like really pouring everything that you had into that internal space. I think it is. And what do we have here? We have the Fool. Now, whenever we see the Death card or the Tower card or the World card, what I really like to see directly after it is the Fool. And if we can't manage a full Fool, then an Ace of any description is wonderful. But you've got it. You've got the end of a cycle. You've got the Tower here. You've got the Death card over here. And here is this Fool underpinning it. And this indicates not only the beginning of a new cycle. Remember how I said that this is numbered 0? It contains the full potential of what it is to be alive at any given point, right? Anything that you want, you can achieve. Absolutely anything, right? Everything is possible with the Fool. But it also speaks about trust, and this is such a huge thing for you, Scorpio. It's massive. There is trust coming, and it's not necessarily of the people around you. It's a thing. It's of yourself. You're trusting your own judgment now, but it's coming from a really healthy place. And we've spoken before about how there's this Scorpio predilection towards cutting off relationships before they get too deep, right? For the benefit of both of you. And that's something that's missed when people talk about Scorpio in snarky terms all the time, right? Selfish, they only think of themselves, this, that and the other, blah, 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 blah. I've spoken at length before about how I get very fucking ratty about these lazy characterizations of these deeper signs, like you particularly. It's Pisces as well, both of them suffer from this. They don't see that nobility that sits behind it, And honestly, I'm not sure that you've ever really truly seen it in those terms either. But now you are. This is massive. This is really, really big. Because if you start to trust yourself, rather than coming from a place of fear, which you have been up until now, fear that people were getting close and they would hurt you in the same way that you have been hurt in the past, and you were not sure that you could ever survive that, Now it's coming from a place of knowing your own value. Having healed certain things within you that have run very fucking deep indeed. Coming from a place of love. Did I see that? I'm sure I saw the Knight of Cups somewhere. Never mind. You've opened up to the possibilities, to potentials, Often the potential of something would be enough to make you shut it down. Like, ooh, no, I see the potential. I see where that's going. Not having it. No. Cut it off here. Now you're open to it. Okay? You're headed in a new direction. And I'm here for this all day long, Scorpio. This is a lifetime's worth of work that you have done in the last few months. Like, It's humbling. Death and the Three of Pentacles, yet another indication of the way in which you are changing, Scorpio, the way that you are opening up to the possibility of building with other people. This is what's coming towards you in October, right? Now the Death card is you, Scorpio, all day long. But what is really drawing my eye above everything on this, right, is not the dead bird on the floor, but the emergence of the new free spirit beyond it. You have absolutely eliminated your shackles. The ways in which you were holding yourself down do not apply anymore. You are changed. Completely changed. And one of the ways in which this change is most apparent is your willingness to work with other people in some way, right? There is, you know, out of necessity, a sort of give and take of energy I see coming up for you here in October, right? Where you would have shut that down before, or you would have, you know, allowed it to progress a certain amount, but by, you know, keeping a large part of you back from that. Like I said, like Scorpio got like layers and fucking fences everywhere, and you know, depending on who you are, means, you know, you're allowed to come in a certain amount, but very, very few ever make it to the inner sanctum. And even then, those ones that are there, although they may know that you are their ride or die, they don't get right into the source of you, because even you didn't get in there for a while. And feel like you've accessed it. I think that you are now starting to see that there is something in there, that it's a light, Scorpio. It's a light. And it's not even like it is you just going along and opening all the gates now, going, everybody, you can go trampoline, that's cool. It's like you've opened a door, and this light, this blinding light, is now emanating forth, and it's illuminating. Everyone's turning around going, well, what the fuck is that light there? It's Scorpio, right? You are taking ownership of your own light, and you're allowing it to happen, and others will benefit from it, but you will benefit too. Look at this. Got this Cancer and Pisces energy here. You have sister water signs, Cancer and Pisces. This is all about receiving, Scorpio, that one thing that you have never really allowed yourself to do, not properly, right? Receiving and just allowing things in, people in. Whoever is meant to be here at this time is making themselves known to you, and you're like, yeah, you can come in, that's fine, you know. It's not throwing up the blocks and the obstacles anymore, you know, that which was so inbuilt within you that it was just a natural reflex. It was not something that you ever tried to do, it just happened, you know. And then we've got this Hangman. You are seeing the world very, very differently now, very differently, and this will only continue, Scorpio. Genuinely think this will only continue, because you have achieved a level of enlightenment here. Like, it's time to come off the tree. Right? Let yourself down, because you've passed with flying colours. You know, what you didn't realise you were setting out to do, but what you have done is coming to a sense of completion now. Certainly for this cycle, at least. We've got the Page of Wands, Page of Swords, beg your pardon, yet another page. This one dealing with the way that you think. Right? I've said this before, the mind stretched by a new idea will never return to its original dimensions, and that's you. Except that the mind part of it is following the heart. Like, all of this is water. Death. Queen of Cups. Hangman. It's all water. And it's a comfort navigating. It's a comfortable place now to navigate this for you, where it wasn't before. And your mind's catching up with it. right? You're starting to think about the world differently, starting to see the world differently, starting to see other people differently too. Now, you've always been blessed with this psychic ability to see straight past the bullshit that anybody puts up and see right to the core of who somebody was. And honestly, I think the more light that you've seen in there, the more likely it is that you shut it down really, really fast, because it spoke to you somewhere, Scorpio, in a way that you weren't prepared to accept at one point, right? Everybody that we meet is a mirror to us in some way or another. They show us things about ourselves that we have disavowed, right? And that's all the shadow is, that about ourselves that we have disavowed. So for some people that will be, well, for everyone, that is negative traits that they perceive in themselves. And your negative trait that you've always perceived in yourself is that light, is that ability to be vulnerable. It's that ability to be sensitive. This is all changing. It's all changing. This is absolutely extraordinary, Scorpio. I mean, I could sit here and waffle on for a bit more, but I'm just going to leave it there because I've said everything that I need to say here. I'm going to go over to Vimeo now, and I'm going to pull this apart a little bit and have a look at October specifically and see what is going on for you. But this all looks good. I mean, where the other signs will look like they're going to be struggling quite hard over the next few weeks, October feels like a rebirth for you. And perhaps that is because your planet is jiggling about in the sky and doing its thing, who knows. Who knows? Right, but I'm going to leave it there. So if you want to come and join me over there, it's the first link in the description box. If not, no shade. Congratulations on what you have achieved. I'm really proud of you. It's incredible. It's very inspiring, actually, too, I have to say. Take care. Know that I love you all very much, and I'll see you soon.